Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Many of you have been asking me to create videos about mobile development. So today we are going to create a weather application that will run on iOS and Android with React Native. Let's have a look at what we are going to build now. And that's the project running on iPhone 13 at the moment. And the data we are seeing about New York, that it's -1 degree Celsius and it's cloudy, it's real-time data coming from Open Weather Map API, which we are going to use. And if we search for different city, let's say London, we see the information about London. Currently it's 7 degrees Celsius, it's cloudy, the minimum is 6 and the maximum is 9 degrees. And I can search for my favorite city in my home country, let's say Varna. Oops, Varna. So in Varna it's 13 degrees, it's clear, and the maximum is 13 degrees. Now, before we step into coding this amazing little project, if this is your first time watching, my name is Usman. I'm a self-taught developer and I make tutorials about web development and mobile development. So if this is something that you like and you are interested in, make sure you subscribe and also make sure you hit the notification bell so that you don't miss anything. With that said, let's open VS Code now and start creating this project from scratch. Alright, so I have created a folder right here and I'm gonna open my terminal on my MacBook. So I'm gonna search for terminal and I'm gonna cd into that folder. So I'm gonna say ls first and then I'm gonna say cd into desktop, and then I'll say ls, and then I'll find this folder which is React Native weather app React Native YouTube. So I'm gonna say cd weather app React Native YouTube, and now I will just say npx React Native init, and I'm gonna give this project a name. I'm gonna call this my weather app, just like that, and I'll hit enter, and that will start installing the React Native project on my local machine, and that will take a bit of a time. So I'm gonna be back to you when this is created. Right now we can see that the installation has finished, and what I can do is I can simply close this terminal and we can see the project right here. If I expand this, we see all the files, and now we can open this with Visual Studio. So I'm going to open that folder with my Visual Studio code editor, and we're going to start creating the project. So I'm going to say file, open, not that one. So it's going to say file, open folder, and I'm gonna find that folder which I just created, which is in my desktop, and I'm gonna open this project just like that. And after I open it, I'll make this bigger. We're gonna do a couple of things. We're gonna start the project, the basic, to see what React Native gives us out of the box when we install a brand new project. And then we will install a couple of dependencies and we will import one asset which we will use for the background. So to start the project, we just need to open a terminal, and we need to say npx React Native start, and that will start Metro server for us. And then we can open one more terminal right here and say npx React Native run iOS. Now I'm on Mac OS, so I'm gonna run this project on my iOS emulator, but if you are on Windows, you will have to say npx React Native run Android, and that will start the project on an Android device, but that's not the case for me. So we're gonna be developing this right now using this iOS emulator. So as you can see, my emulator popped, and we can see it right here. So I'm gonna make it bigger for you so you can see it better. And I hope my camera is not so. Let me just make this even smaller and bring this up so that you can see it. I think my camera is right here, so I'm gonna work like that. So this will take a bit of a time right now. The first build is slow, and I will back to you when this is created. All right, so we can see that our project has successfully launched on the simulator, and now we can see that it's bundling, which again takes some time. I have moved this, I've made this a little bit bigger so that you can see better, and I have made the emulator smaller so that it can fit right here on the space where my camera is. Now we will wait until this is loaded, and then you will see what React Native gives us out of the box when we install a brand new project. And after that, we will start creating the project. So let's wait until this is finished. All right, so it's running on this iPhone 13 emulator, and we can start clearing up some things that we don't need. For example, this thing right here. So I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna delete this import. We won't need that. I'm gonna delete everything right here. So this section will disappear. And then inside this return, I will also delete everything, and I will move those, first of all, those styles to the top because I like them on the top, like right here. So we're gonna paste them right here, and let's say we will delete everything inside this safe area view, and we will convert this to a view, so just a regular view, okay, not safe area view. Let me just see. So view, so we will return a view. We will delete this as well and this as well right here, and we're gonna convert this into a standard arrow function. So const app equals an arrow function, and we will return something here in the styles. We will say first of all root, and we're gonna give this a flex of 1 to take the whole thing. And for this view right here, we're gonna say style, and that will be styles.root, okay? And after we do that and we save everything, you will be able to see that we have nothing right now displayed on the emulator, which is what we want. Now here we will start with importing some stuff that we will need, and what we will need basically will be so we have imported the style sheet, we have imported the text, and the thing that we will import as well will be image background. So I'm going to say image background, and also we will have text input, and we will also need activity indicator, that spinner that will be shown when we fetch the data. Okay, so we have style sheet, text, view, activity indicator, and I believe this is all we need from those imports from React Native. And what we will do now is we will start by creating the structure of our layout. So here inside this view, we will have to say image background, but before that let's create a folder right here. So inside this directory, let's create a folder called assets, and let's bring this image inside the assets folder right here. Okay, and also let's open one terminal right here and install a package we will need. That will be Axios. So I'm going to say npm install Axios, and that will start installing Axios for me. And meanwhile, we can say here image background, and the image background will have elements inside it. Basically, you will see. So for the source of this, so for the source of the image background, we will say require, and we will import this image. So require, and then we will say dot slash, so dot slash assets, and we will get that image. just like that. And this image background will also be resize mode, and that will be cover. And we will also have a style for this. So I'm going to say style, styles.image, and that style.image. So we say image right here, and this one, oops, not that. So image, the image will have flex of 1. So I'm going to say flex 1, and flex direction will be column. Okay. And with that, I think we'll be ready to continue. Axios is installed. What we can do is we can make another build. We can save that. We can save this, and we can see our image background. Okay, but I'm gonna make another build, and I'm gonna run one command, which is npx pod install, because I have installed a package called Axios and I want to update my pods. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do npx pod install. I'm gonna wait until this is installed, and then I'm gonna say npm run React Native iOS again, and I will make another build so that our project is updated. Okay, so the pods are installed, and I'm gonna just say npx React Native run iOS again, and that will start my project once again. And we can see that it has installed the app successfully again. Let's continue with our structure. So inside this image view, we will have another view, and inside this view we will have our text input. So I'm going to say text input right here, and this text input will have a placeholder. So I'm going to say placeholder, enter city name, and press return ... Okay. We will also need to import Axios right here. So let's import Axios. Import Axios from Axios, and we also need a couple of hooks from React. So I'm going to say import useState and use callback, just like that. And right here we will create a couple of variables. So I'm say const input set input, and that will be use state empty string. By default we say const loading and set loading, which we will use for when we are fetching the data, and that will be use state. That will be false initially, and then we will say const what else was data and set data, and that will hold, that will be an array of information which we will fetch and we will populate inside this array. So that will be an array by default. Okay. And then here for the text input, I'm gonna say first of all on change. So on change text, that will be text, and we will set the input right here to the text we are typing. Okay. And also that will have a value, and the value of this will be the input. So value equals input, just like that. And we will say placeholder text color, that will be equal to hexadecimal black. So black color. And what else we will have? We will also have style for this. So I'm going to say style equals styles dot text input, just like that, and we will create those styles right now. And also we will say on submit editing, which is a function that is fired when we press the return button. And when we do that, when we press the return button, we will fire a function called fetch data handler, which we will create just now. So let's start creating those right here. So I'm going to say const fetch data handler, and that will be equal to use callback function. And we will just leave it like that for the moment, and we will deal with it later. But I just wanted to create it and prepare this for further usage. And what else? So we need to create the styles. So styles.text input. So here we can come and we can say text input, and that text input basically will have the following styles. Let me just check that. So we will have border bottom width. So border bottom width will be 3. We'll have padding 5. We'll have padding vertical. So padding vertical, that will be 20. Margin vertical. So margin vertical. Hold on. So margin vertical also will be 100. Margin horizontal will be 10. We'll have a background color of white. So I'm going to say white for this. Okay. And we'll say font size to be 19. Okay. Font size 19. Border radius. So border radius of 16. And border bottom color. So border bottom color will be that orange one, which you saw in the demo. And that is DF8E00. Just like that. Now, if I save, you will be able to see the text input. And here is the text input. And I can enable my keyboard toggling, and we can see that we have this working just like that. Okay, let's move forward. So we have created the text input, and below this text input, what we will have will be one view that we will display when we are having the loading state to be true. So to do that, we can open set of curly braces and say whenever loading is true, then we want to have a view which will hold our activity indicator. So I'm going to say activity indicator just like that, and this activity indicator will have a size of large. Okay, large, and the color of this activity indicator will be actually there's no need for curly braces. That will be black. Okay, so I'm going to say black, and now I will hit save. We will not see it yet because we haven't implemented that logic, but you will see it in a moment. Okay, let's see what we have else. Actually, we can start with creating the logic for displaying the data. And to do that, I'm gonna do the following. I'm gonna open this file right here. I have one API text file, and I'm gonna copy this credentials which I have right here, and I'm gonna paste them in my app.js file just like that. And what you can do basically, we will be using the API from this openweathermap.org website, and you can hit the API, you can make an account, and you can get a key and you can use it for free. Of course, it has some limitations, but here you can see how can you get a simple, how can you use this data. We will use this one. It's very simple. I'll show you how, but you have to make an account as well and have an API key. Okay, so I have pasted this right here, and what I'm gonna do now inside this data fetch handler, first of all, I'm gonna say console log, so console log fired, just like that, and I'm gonna open my I'm gonna shake the phone, so shake the emulator, and I'm gonna hit debug with Chrome, and that will start on debug mode right here on my web browser, and I can inspect and I can go to the console just like that. And if I make this smaller right now, and when I hit this button right here, okay, let's bring this again. So keyboard, toggle software keyboard. When I press this return button, all right, it's not firing. Console log fired. Fetch data handler. Let's see why. This is strange. Okay. Let me just hit R and reload the app, and let's see what will happen now. Now the project is running, and we can type something and we can hit return, but I don't see. Okay, so you see fired right here, which means that this function was fired when we press the return button. So that means that it's working, okay? And now inside this fetch data handler, what we will do, we will basically say set loading to be true, okay? First of all, and then we will also set the input to the default empty string, because whenever you hit the return, you want to clear that input field, okay? And then we will use Axios. So I'm gonna say Axios, and right here I'm gonna say for the method of this will be get, okay? And for the URL of this, we're gonna construct this. I have it already here, so I'm gonna grab it from right here. So I'm gonna copy this stuff, okay? I'm gonna close this file and bring this back, and this URL I will paste it just like that, and I'll make this bigger for you so that you can see. So basically what we are saying right here, we are saying Axios method get, and the URL is this https api.openweathermap.org data 2.5 weather, and here for the query we specify the input we have when we are typing on the field, and then we say and units equals metric and app ID, and I paste my API key right here. But it's complaining because we are missing some dependencies, so I'm going to say api.key right here, and it's also complaining because we are missing input as a dependency, and I will provide it right here as well. And now we can see that it's not complaining. And then after that, after we say Axios, we can say that then, and that will return a promise, and we will have the response right here, and we can say console log res.data to see what's happening when we do that. And let me just bring this, and let's type New York right here, New York, and we can see that we are getting this data back from the API. All right, and we see that we have main, the temperature, the chords, clouds. We see all that information we have, but we will use some of this, not all of that, okay? So, and we also see that the indicator is loading, and we need to stop this from loading. So what we need to do after that, basically after we are getting the data, we can say set data to be response.data, and if we have any errors, So I'm going to say dot catch. Okay. Error. I'm going to say console.dir, the error. And then finally, after we have an error or we have successfully handled the response, we can say set loading to be false. And now if we save, we will see that the indicator will disappear. It should disappear any moment. Let's reload this, okay? And let's hit New York again. So New York, and hit, and you can see that it appeared for a moment but then disappeared. And if we check our console, we see our data right here, okay? And this is perfect. Now let's continue with our layout. Now here, what we will do, we will below this loading end, we will have another conditional. So we're gonna say data. Whenever we have data from the API, then we will say the following. We will have a view, and that view will have a style, and that will be styles.infoView. Okay, and inside this view we will have a text element, and there we will display the country name and the city name and the country. So the way we do that, first of all, this text will have a style of styles.city country text. Okay, and to display this, we will have to open a set of curly braces right here, and with backticks we can say data, so data.name, and right here we can say data.sys.country, just like that. So data.name and data.sys.country is coming from right here. So you can see data, this is the name, and the sys is this object which has this country key value pair right here. So by targeting this data.sys.country, I'm grabbing the value of this key value pair, and then we can create the styles, and then we will save and see what we have for information. So I'm gonna go above right here, and I'm gonna first of all say InfoView. So InfoView, that one will have align items to be center, just like that, and this city country text, that will be with the color of white. So I'm going to say white for this, and font size to be 40, and font weight will be bold, just like that. Okay, now if I save, and we can see New York US right here. Okay, city country text. Okay, city country text, and then what we have to do after that, however, it's very small. I don't know why it's so small. Let's see. So undefined and undefined. All right, so New York, and we see this New York. Okay, but it's very small like size, so let's, oh, I see why, because we made a mistake. So right now we can see New York, US, but we also have a comma right here. So let's provide this comma right here, just like that, and we can see that we see it properly. All right, so below this text, we will display a couple of other things. Okay, we will display the date. So to display the date, we will have another text element. So text, and this will have a style of styles dot date text. I'll call this date text. And to display the current date, we can just say new date dot to ISO string. Okay, just like that. Or no, we can say to local string, to local string, just like that. And if I save now, you will see that we also see the date right here. So let's also style this date text. So the date text, so date text, that one will have very basic styling as well. So for the date text, we can say color to be white. We will have font size of this to be 22, and margin vertical, so margin vertical will be 10, just like that. And when we save, we will see that it's with the white color. And below this text right here, with the date, we will have another text element. So let me go down right here. Below the date, we will have text. So text, and we will show the temperature. And we'll say style dot temp text. And to display the temperature, hold on, I forgot styles dot temp text. And to display the temperature, we will open a set of curly braces again and backticks, and we're gonna say mat.round, so we will round this number. So we can say data dot main dot temp, which is coming from right here. So if we open this again, and we can see this main here, and we can see this temperature right here. So this is what data.main.temp means. So we are grabbing this 2.77 value from the data, and we will also need this Celsius sign. So I'll say Celsius sign, and I will copy it. Oops. So I will copy it, and I'm gonna paste it. I'm gonna paste it right here, just like that. And I will save, and we will see 3 degrees, but it's black. It's okay. We will style it. And below this, we will have another text, and this text will have we will have a style. So we'll say style of styles dot min max, so min max text, which will say the minimum and maximum temperature. Again, we will open curly braces, and we're gonna say backticks, and the min will be mat.round. So mat.round, data, so data dot main again dot temp underscore min. So that's for the minimum temperature, and we will paste that Celsius sign again, and then we'll say a slash, so slash, and then we'll say max, and that will be mat, so mat that round data dot main underscore temp max. Okay, and again we'll paste this Celsius sign, and now I will save, and we will see minimum is -2 and maximum is 6, and this thing right here is coming from if we open the terminal once again right here, so data.main temp underscore max and temp underscore min. So we are grabbing those values from the data right here. And now we are pretty much done with it, and we can just style whatever we need to style. So let's create that style right here. So what is temp text? So the temp text, this one will have font size, so I'm going to say font size of 45, color of white, okay, and a margin vertical, so margin vertical of 10, so 10 for margin vertical. And if we save now, we will see it it got bigger, and min max text, and the min max text will have a font size, so font size of 22, again color will be white, and I will say margin vertical 10, and font weight will be 500. Okay, with that, if I save now, we will have it complete, so styling and everything complete. You can see what we did right here. We have the styles, we have our app structure, the API, the data handler, callback function, our structure right here. You saw how we got the data from the API. And now if we say London, so London, and we can see that for a fraction of a second we see this loader, and then we see the updated information, and we can search for Amsterdam as well, and we can see, okay, so this one was, something was buggy right here, so Amsterdam, okay, so you see that Amsterdam is shown. Let's try Tokyo, so Tokyo, we can see the updated information, and it's working properly. And that was it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy the video, please make sure you subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, recommend to a friend, and become part of this fantastic community of React and React Native developers. Thank you so much for watching again. I'll see you again in next videos.